The Bakersmen Collective presents.
In the process of upgrading all of our lights, so you saw in the greenhouse, we've got all HPS lighting and just a small section of LEDs. What we're looking to do is have LEDs across the entire flowering room as well as the bedroom, so that will likely double our yield and increase our production, so we can have our further reach in the industry. Right now, we're still about 50% wholesale business with 50% retail. What we'd like to see is that grow to more like 80-20. We likely still keep some wholesale processors, some people that are also processing our material and doing fresh rosin or doing concentrates from there. And then the rest of it is going to go into the Viking brand. So another cool thing is once we've upgraded our LED and got a little bit better control and dialing it in, what we like to do is kind of enter into like a premium line. That's something that could come in the future as well with another brand.
Do you see yourself licensing to other states once you get this stopped in?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as it becomes legal, I mean, we're going to be one of the big producers in Washington that can sell to other states if we can. But yeah, that's actually not even on our radar right now. We are just positioning ourselves for that, but we haven't really built out a business plan around selling interstate yet.
Yeah. There is interstate trigger bills at this moment in time in place. So it's some free time.
I would be excited for that. That would be very, very good for us. It'd be good for everyone in the industry in Washington because we're a lot more ahead of the rest of the country. So.
Yeah, we need some weight to bolster up what's going on. We've got a lot of flour, but not as much as Oregon, if you will. And it's a bit better what we have in excess.
Oh yeah, there's so many. I mean, it comes from just the extreme amount of competition, right? We've got over 1,000 processor licenses out there with like less than 500 stores, so everyone is competing, and that's really bringing out the best in everyone. You got some of the best product here in Washington because there's so many brands, there's so many people that are trying to establish themselves. And it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of them going out of business as well.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be one of them.
No. So go buy Viking cannabis.
Yes.
That's the point here, because the trees is good.
Thank you. Yep, and we entered in a lot of competitions this year. So we went into the Leaf Bowl, we won that. We won 2 strains. Like basically every strain that we entered, we won for the categories we entered in. We also won Best Indoor Flower with the Suncraft Cup. So that's ones that, of all the people that are using the sun or supplemental lighting, we have the best flower with the old school lemons. So we're getting recognized by kind of like the connoisseurs or the people that are in the industry with those competitions, and like we just have to get our brand out and get more people into it. We just hired a brand ambassador or director of marketing who's going to be helping us with getting our digital presence out there. So I mean, I'm really excited that we're starting to get a little bit more budget to do the things we want to do.
Yes. And the only way to increase that budget is to sell more products.
Oh, yes.
You got some new products coming down the pipeline?
Yes, guys. We're also doing this Icelanders product line, which is going to be our ice water hash infused pre-rolls. We've also got some disposable vapes that we trialed out. We'll make those available for you guys in your stores as well, but we have a limited quantity of that, probably about less than 1,000 units we're in for that test. We're also doing like dabs that are going now through third party, so we're excited about launching that. And then what I'd like to get into is more like multi-packs and variety packs of pre-rolls as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're expanding a lot. There's a lot of work to bring a new product to market now, so it's something that we're all working on together.
Yeah, we're constantly thinking about ways that we can expand or do things differently, or the whole sustainability thing. Like this is my 3rd, 4th week coming on, and just learning about all the ways that we try to be sustainable. It's not just something that we're marketing or something that we want to do. We follow through with it across the board down to trying to figure out a way to use the stems. That's why we have so many different lines. That's why we're thinking of different ways that we can change the product. We've got the raindrops is another idea in the works.
Yeah, whenever we have a new pheno that comes through our new plant, we've got a new product line called Free Range Farms Raindrops. So anytime that we have that, we'll have that as an exclusive drop to different stores to provide feedback on those aids. We'll probably be around like 200 to 300 aids that we'll release that, and as we get that feedback, it'll help us decide what new strain comes into the market.
Yeah, how are you collecting that feedback?
It's a QR code on the actual label, so there's a survey that allows you to just do it from your phone. That makes it really easy. And yeah, we just encourage that any store that buys that they get their staff to give us some feedback because it's really helpful for us. Launch like a new brand for what we're going to be doing for our rosin, because originally we had a different brand where some other guys were helping us with that, and then when I took over, it was just like, okay, well, we still have this process here and we want to launch our own brand. What can we come up with? And the thing that inspired us was me and him were in the back room like Vikings on a ship, like paddling on a team, and we came up with the Viking rosin. And that's kind of what inspired the entire brand. It came from that. We got a good guy from like Seattle to do our graphics, and the brand was launched from there. It came from the hash room, actually.
Started with hash.
Started with hash. Yeah, that was our first product, and a lot of people are, like really know us well for the rosin we produce.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's very good material. We're getting all the terps from the sunlight, and it's providing a really nice product. So.
Shoot, even though it's indoor?
This is classified as indoor by the state, but I mean it's technically a hybrid. So we've got it's like a light depth hybrid, supplemental lighting hybrid, greenhouse.
Because it's coming from the sun, but it's not outside.
Right.
There's just so many terms that say the same thing, so I try to make it all make sense.
There are some misnomers because like if you look online, people say their greenhouse when they have like hoop houses, which is also like another form of greenhouse, but it's like it's not really what we are. Then they can call themselves light depth as well if they're like bringing curtains and covering the sun. And then us using supplemental lighting by like having lights in the facility. We have enough lights to run as a true indoor. To where we don't need sunlight.
But you want it to reduce.
Right, because then we can reduce our utility costs, reduce our carbon footprint, be more sustainable.
Higher quality, cheaper bed.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get better lighting, you get a full spectrum of light. Like it's hard to produce what the sun is giving you, all the sun's energy coming into the plants. We have that plus LEDs and HPS.
Which is why you should not knock outdoor weed.
Yeah.
You should never knock outdoor weed. Oh
It
man.
came from the depths.
The outdoor weed that you're knocking is like from your next door neighbor Jerry that grew it out. You know, like, true outdoor bud is 10 out of 10.
Dogs going out, every other day.
Oh my
And that's
god.
what's great about this facility is we're able to bring those outdoor genetics into here and then add a little bit of extra controls, like such as indoors, so you get the best of both worlds of having that kind of genetic that needs the sunlight while also being able to do that consistently. Okay, and then lower a lot of the pest pressures that you get from an outdoor. You've got a little bit more control and isolation in these rooms. It's just a lot more efficient than an indoor.
Because in the state of Washington, pests are...
Yeah, they can be. They can be. And we use a full organic IPM program. So everything that we're using, such as beneficial insects. I could have shown you that out there, but we've got some little bugs running out there, taking care of other bugs or other fungus gnats that we're trying to prevent. Everything that we use is fully organic.
One thing I like to highlight, I came from Fairwind, so we tested for the DOH certification, pesticides, residuals, mycotoxins, molds, and heavy metals. They were one of our wholesale purchasers at a point when the price is right, essentially, and they test for that level using our extraction in a lot of their vapes, a lot of things that they utilize in their products. So in terms of him saying like an organic IPM spray, not only that, we are truly clean, pesticide-free across the board down to like the T.
Yeah. So if you look at any of our COAs, any of the stuff that is being has an action level that is being tested for, there's no detectable quantity of anything because we don't use any of it. Nothing will ever fail a pesticide test in Washington.
Alright. But, question, do you put that on your packaging?
No.
Yeah, I mean, you need to start. Because like people have asked me,
Totally,
and I
no.
look at it, and I'm like,
It's
I think
sometimes
so.
even-
It tastes like that.
Yep. It's sometimes even like a shelf space within a store, different stores highlight true pesticide-free companies that can provide those types. Yeah, so.
It's hard because there's a lot of companies that do put that on their packaging, but what they're testing for, they technically do.
They test for what Washington tests for.
Right.
So it's we push the sustainable and just kind of hope that implies that we're pesticide free without just putting it in.
Yeah.
But that's why we hired a
on
marketing
it
director.
depends on the definition too. I talked to a few different people, a few different retailers, and they say, okay, what do you mean by pesticide free? And I said, well, there's no pesticides in the final product. It's like, well, we're pesticide free. But if you're saying, do we use pesticides? Yes, I think a lot of places use pesticides or organic pesticides in let's say the first couple of weeks of veg or in the first weeks of flower. But then by the time it gets through flowering, the whole processing, everything is pesticide free. So yeah, I think just there's not a fully understood definition because some people say when they're pesticide free that they just don't use pesticides at all. and that requires like an absolutely clean, like isolated environment.
More isolated than this.
Yeah, there's very few
Sterile.
people in the state.
Yeah.
Sterile environment, and I don't even think.
Trailblazing, or maybe.
You ever seen Onyx out on the peninsula?
Or have
They're another huge one, and it's like a little bit aggressive as you walk in. They have the full like blast down quarantine sprays, 2 different rooms that you go through, vacuum sealed. Andrew, the creator of it, created this air system to where there's actually no external air coming into the facility, and they're cleaning and reproducing oxygen within the facility, so there's no outside air. It's
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
still,
I would
then
consider that
that's
Yeah.
we tested for them back in the day, and they popped when we did extractions
Yeah.
because it's the variables. It's intense. Yeah. So
So we sell to a lot of extractors, and yeah, we never have any issues. There's never a return. So once they've
grains across the
gone and concentrated our product and they test it, right, everything is 100% clean. So you know the flour is clean, right?
Exactly. But now we just gotta get the consumer base educated enough to recognize that.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the hard
it's just-
part.
that's where we're growing right now. Yeah. Put more
And
information,
also
more education out there.
Having overhead too, because for example, like the federal term of being organic, no one can use that because we don't have that federal agency backing us, and there's nobody actually checking to say are they truly organic. So anyone can say they're organic because there is no oversight. There's like anyone can say they're pesticide free because no one's going to be like no you're not. And there's no qualifications to be pesticide free that is like fully controlled by government agencies. So that's why I don't really like the term, because it doesn't mean anything yet. Like until somebody steps in and says like, okay, you've gone through these qualifications to be pesticide free, now you are, then anyone can say anything.
I feel like you need to be talking to the legislators.
I mean,
Yeah.
just one of those things.
Wasn't
like it's a
LG trying
marketing
to change
term
that
right
though?
now.
Wasn't I
you
think
know?
they were.
It's all it is a marketing term. So like,
Yeah.
if we
Kind
sell
of like clean green certified.
if we sell
That's
somebody our
the
product,
word
I
I was
mean,
gonna say.
I've seen like lots of people that buy our product and they see the process and like, oh yeah, and then they put pesticide free on the packaging. But we don't use that marketing because we don't really feel that it's fully honest.
Thank you for sharing.
I'm sure that the public will get more educated on what pesticide free actually means.
They need to be educated on a lot more, like live resin, on everything out there. Then shit, we could poke holes in a lot of
Slowly
like,
getting there.
consumers.
Yeah, we've been doing vendor days for like 6-7 years, and the time of that, you see people coming in and they're like, what's an indica and sativa, right? What's percentages? And now it's getting to the point where like, you see the suburban soccer moms come in and they're like, oh, I've been trying these new, what's that PHO, or somebody said something like live something, and so like I had a grandma come in talking to me about a rosin the other day, and she said it's because her daughter comes in and buys it all the time. So, it's slowly but surely, right? And then making sure that cannabis space is a safe space for those people as well too. It's a scary thing seeing a torch come out, so
Electronic.
I gotta educate properly and safely.
Yeah, electronic tap breaks has bridged that gap with a lot of people who are
Of course,
Yes,
yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah, low tap. That's one thing that we also do on our disposables. We program them to be low temp so it doesn't burn.
They're the eye crusher vapes, if you're familiar with that brand. They do vapes that you can buy to actually plug in yourself, but they
A couple
do
of brands
lot.
doing like Refined did the recent eye crushers, a couple other companies did, but they're auto set. So like ours started at like a 1.5 range and then hit like a 2.7 and then drop back down. So the rosin never burns. Terpene profile is always perfect.
Most batteries on the market, their lowest point is higher than what you should be smoking rosin at.
Mm-hmm.
Auto burns.
got it.
Yep, like basic 7-10 threads, a lot of times they start at 2.8 when you should be using 2.0 to 2.4 for your rosin. Because over time, even if you're hitting it that low, it's still heating, and you can burn your rosin a lot more easily than something like a live resin that has a solvent in it.
Education, like that. Right over
Oh,
there.
We love that.
We love for your input.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think we're gonna take off.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, you guys enjoyed. Have a safe drive home.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.